Hey everyone, I'm Cooper Johnson, the voice user experience designer at GridSpace, which is a company where we design and build a lot of voice AI technology, namely the product I work with every day, which is our virtual voice agent, Grace. Conversation design is a term or an idea that has come a long way in the last couple decades and has come really far in a very short period of time, kind of as the world at large has gained new awareness of this AI age that we're in now. But in brief, conversation design is optimizing the interface between a human being and a machine, that is, say, a computer in this case, where the only exchange of information is in the form of human language. So no multimodal, which means no pictures are involved, whether those are moving or static images, no buttons to click, just the exchange of human language. English in my day-to-day job, but Spanish, Mandarin, Chinese, Japanese, whatever you want to do. The exchange of human language between a computer and a machine, conversation design makes that interface as good as it can possibly be. And where's the benchmark for what is as good as it can possibly be? You could say it's a kind of Turing test where the human speaking to the computer doesn't realize or doesn't maybe mind that they're speaking to a computer. Conversation design is not about deceiving people. We never want to make a machine system that speaks in such a way where its goal is to trick the human being into thinking that it is also a human being. But we do want to get to that point where the person, there are no obstacles. You can speak in natural language like you would to a friend or to someone you do business with, just like you would to a human being, but with the machine. And a lot goes into conversation design, especially now that we've kind of evolved our practices for the AI age. And it starts with just being aware of what words is the machine going to use on a regular basis. Basically, where's the machine's level of formality or brand awareness or sensitivity to bad news? What kind of word choices is it going to make when we set it loose to have these conversations with the human beings? That's very important. It's kind of where rubber meets the road of conversation. But then there are big picture considerations about the conversation too, which are kind of thinking about how does this one conversation that we want a machine to be able to have, whichever course that conversation takes, so the many almost infinite options that we have for achieving the same conversation, where does that fit within the bigger picture of the conversation that is a human being's day? So if basically that means these days, mostly we're considering whether there's a human in the loop somewhere for the machine to back up or to escalate to. And that really impacts how we need to think about the autonomy that we give the machine in any given conversation. So namely, if someone wants to speak to a manager or is offended at the idea of speaking to a robot, if there is or is not a human being that the machine can transfer to in that circumstance, really impacts everything downstream or upstream in the conversation to that point. The machine needs to know if it can just low friction transfer the call to a human being and just be polite. Sorry, I couldn't help you, but I know someone who can. Have a great day. Or if the machine needs to do damage control, be like, I'm sorry, it's just me. There's no human available for me to transfer this call, but I can make a note that you were unhappy today. So giving the machine the tools to kind of compartmentalize and locate the conversation within the many conversations that a human being is going to have throughout the day and knowing its scope of responsibility. These are all things we bake in kind of the big picture of conversation design because they are necessary for successfully executing a conversation. The machine needs to know, okay, not just what am I going to say, but what's even allowable for me to say? What am I permitted to comment on or offer help on in this case? So I also want to say what makes a great conversation designer can be a lot of different things, but it starts with just having some self-awareness about how human interactions go. And then you can bring a wide range of specific skill sets to that to be a great conversation designer. Linguists make great conversation designers, so they think about the impact of words a lot. Actors, screenwriters make great conversation designers because they think about things at the word level or what's actually conveyed, what is both said and unsaid. So a lot of great people can be great conversation designers, but at the end of the day, what we are trying to do is just make the most human-to-human-like version of a conversation between a human and a machine. Once again, I'm Cooper Johnson. I'm the voice user experience designer at GridSpace, which is a fancy term for conversation designer. And conversation design as an idea has come a long way in the last few decades. So if there's anything I didn't touch on, anything that particularly interests you that you want to talk more about, let us know in the comments, and I will be happy to talk about it all day long.